Mr. Potter will always be around to save the day.
Welcome to the Drag Malfoy podcast, made by the fans for the fans,
where we talk about fan films, fictions, and theories.
My name is Ivy.
And my name is Baron LeVay, and we are the Drag Malfoys.
Hello!
Hi!
Welcome to episode 4 of the Drag Malfoy podcast.
Hell yes. We're back. It's your third week in a row that you're getting a podcast from us, actually. Because we're posting one today as we're recording. And then it's going to be posted next week.
Yes, it's all very exciting.
Yeah.
So technically it's episode 5, but we've only actually recorded 4.
We had to cut down episode 3 into 2 parts because there is nothing that I could cut out of that to make it an hour and a half long. It was all too good.
I mean, yeah, we love Christy, but she doesn't answer anything in a short way. But that's not a bad thing because we deep dive.
We do enjoy a good deep dive in Snape.
Absolutely.
Although I would like to know if anyone plays the drinking game of how many times Baron says absolutely per podcast.
Yes, I would also like to hear this.
How many of you have suffered liver failure?
Absolutely.
I believe that's 2 shots in the space of 2 minutes. But yes, welcome to this episode. Today we are talking about the Battle of Hogwarts.
Oh yeah!
Yeah! That good old little event that happened.
The little event.
Well, I mean it happened in a small area.
Yes, a very small area.
The courtyard mostly.
Yes.
But yeah, if we head on to it, we started with a fan film which is called The Battle of Hogwarts.
Yes. It was a fan film that had 0 budget.
And considering it was 0 budget, I was impressed.
Yes, absolutely. The editing, the after editing and the acting was fantastic, and for a 0 budget film it was impressive to watch.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I think the film itself is only about 10 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
They do have a bit of a 5-minute intro into it, so I believe what I gathered from the speech, I kind of skipped part of it. They showed that film at Universal Studios Orlando.
Yes, they did, yeah.
Which was exciting for them, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have any money to get over there, so they just had a little introduction film. Introduction. So taking into consideration, it was very good for no budget. We've been very blessed over the past few weeks to watch films with a high-ish budget.
Yeah, we've been spoiled.
Very spoiled. Mm-hmm. So it was good to be brought back to be humble.
Yes, absolutely. That's your third.
So the film itself is actually all overseas.
Yeah, I wasn't quite expecting that.
Yeah. From the perspective of Death Eaters versus students.
Yes.
And a teacher.
Yes.
Which was really, really nice. I did like that they had a Slytherin student fighting among them as well.
Yes, I appreciated that. Because not all Slytherins are bad.
Exactly. And not all Gryffindors are good.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. 4.
I was going to say we'll put a little toggle, like a little counter. I'm not going to do that because I never listened to it all the way through when I put the sounds together.
It's my turn this time.
It is your turn. And then you'll have to send each one to me and I'll put it into a video. So the film, actually, it was mostly all instrumental. Hardly any dialogue.
No, not at all.
Yeah, there was like a few little grunts and a little scream.
Yeah.
I think there was one moment when it looked like the students were winning until they turned a corner. There was 3 Death Eaters there with 2 younger students, maybe like first or second years. The leader of the Death Eaters then goes on to say, like, you have until 5. The count of 5 to surrender, but they don't. Unfortunately, the teacher's like, they're just boys, and I'm like, well, do something then.
I was quite surprised, honestly, that it was I thought, you know, it's always a hero thing. Like they'll surrender them at 5 and it'll all be fine. And then they didn't.
They didn't surrender, no, and the 2 boys died.
Yes, 2 small boys died.
Yeah, which I really don't understand. Like, if you're screaming that they're only children, surely you would fake a surrender.
Yeah, you'd do something. Yeah, I mean, it was good, and I think because it shocked me and surprised me that that's the way it went.
Yes,
that I did appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely, and it did show that the Death Eaters were completely ruthless.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Like, they're not gonna scared to kill children. Hope everyone's give it like 10 minutes and everyone's gonna be off the face.
Sorry.
The fighting continues with one of the students, with the teacher being, one of the students, being cruciated.
Yes.
And I love a good dramatic moment.
Of
a
course.
dramatic moment where it's like, ah! And then it's just
Yeah.
loads of screaming
Yeah.
beyond that, and a little bit of and your body moves in such a way.
Pulsates.
Yeah, that's
the one you're looking for, yeah.
For some reason I was, God, this is like last week all over again. Christ.
What I will say is what I really appreciated in this film and the others, and I haven't mentioned it yet. I can't remember the name of it, but there is one specific scream that is free to use for all like movie creators, directors. There's like a soundbite scream that everyone uses.
Oh no, did that use that?
Yes, all of them have so far. But it's like the it's like
it's like the actor didn't do a good job, so they were like, let's just put in a scream.
yeah, like I think it's got a name. But it's been in films for like 50, 60 years or something. But yeah, they used it, and I always notice it in things now because I'm like, that's that scream.
So
Yeah.
is that something that we're going to have to use when we come to do our fan film?
Yes, yeah.
That scream.
100%. I'm going to aim to use it several times.
We'll have to, so I guess what
We'll do a drinking game, so every time someone hears that scream, they can have a shot.
We'll have a little premiere, and we'll have lines of shots ready. So we'll know exactly how many screams is in there, and we'll have the exact amount of shots, and we'll be like, you have to guess
Yeah.
which one it is. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that'd be fun. We should use it for when Narcissa gives birth to Draco and say, ah!
And I'll make sure that we slip some absolutelys in the script as well.
Oh, of course. It'll have to be. Just imagine your Lucius being like, oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
This is just an on-running joke now. I think anyone who's new tuning into this, sorry.
Yeah. I'm not.
No. Oh yeah, so the leader of the Death Eaters and the teacher go in a little head-to-head battle, and somehow, don't know if it's just the headmaster who can do this, but they do apparate out of the Hogwarts grounds.
They do, yeah.
To a random field.
Yes.
No, it was a burning building.
Oh, burning building at first, yes.
Lovely. To be fair, for a zero-budget film, that burning CGI,
Yeah, it was good.
it's alright.
It was good.
And then a field. So they had a bit of a fight in the burning building, and then they were like, oh shit, this is going down. Let's move on.
And it was like the moment where Voldemort picks Harry up and they zoom through the sky in black smoke.
Yes.
Yeah, that was cool.
To be fair, I did like their little Hogwarts animation.
Yes,
It was very well done.
it was.
Don't know where they got it from, but very well done. And then that right to a field, they have a physical fight.
Mm-hmm.
So like, punches and kicks and none of that magic stuff.
Oh yeah, you can't see her. She's on the floor underneath all this wheat, and this Death Eater's kicking the shit out of her.
Oh, fully. And you would just think, he's got his wand. He has that down on the floor.
Yeah, just
Just...
Avada Kedavra, the bitch. Yeah.
And then there's a little a moment of the tables have turned,
Yes.
and the teacher somehow manages to get her wand into his side, and then uses the kill and curse on him.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, she just stands there and she's like, I'm done. By the way, none of these have names. We don't know any of the names.
Yeah, I'm sure they do have names, but we're not made aware of any of their names.
Yeah. And then goes back to Hogwarts, and the students and the Death Eaters are sprawled on the ground. I don't know. Clearly they're all dead, but I'm not too sure how.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe somewhat too injured and then died of wounds or whatever, but presumably dead. And then the teacher points, this is towards the end of the film now, the teacher points her wand to the ground and 2 flowers sprout up. And I'm guessing that was one for each student.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was a really atmospheric moment.
That was one of my, I think this was my favourite moment of the entire film.
It made my eyes well up a little bit, and I mean, I don't do emotions, so it was a bit of an emotional moment.
The one and only time that Baron's ever cried at media is the Doctor Who episode with Rose and the Doctor.
Oh, don't.
It's like,
Kills me every time.
Rose Tyler on the beach.
And then there's nothing.
And then there's nothing. Oh.
And I'm not gonna lie, I nearly punched Ivy yesterday when she sent me a TikTok that was, it was Bad Wolf Bay, and I was mortified because every time I see anything to do with the Doomsday episodes, I literally bawl.
Hey, if I had to experience it, then you had to as well. I wasn't going to go through that pain alone.
No.
My heart hurt. My heart hurt today when Baron didn't tell me of the duet that he was posted, and he posted the duet of Narcissa falling in love with Marlene, of his Snape. Oh, my heart.
It's very easy to do sad Snape, though.
It really is. I think it's
for me, anyway.
Yeah. Snape's had a very traumatic life. We'll let him be sad for a bit. And so the camera's still on the flowers, and then it pans back up to the teacher, and the teacher's now old.
Yes.
She's an old lady.
Yes.
Such a lovely moment that she's just carried. I think she's carried that guilt with her.
Yeah.
For her whole life.
Yeah.
And then you see her walking out with these little clearing bit and back through the gates of Hogwarts.
Yeah.
Back to carry on a little. That's just.
It was It was a really beautiful, poignant moment.
And that's
poignant.
where it ended.
Yeah.
Very, very short.
Very short, yes.
I did like how it was filmed during like the battle scenes where it was very motion.
Yeah.
And the camera was clearly being manhandled and through different angles and stuff. It felt like you were in the fight. Usually I don't quite like them because it makes me feel a bit sick.
Like a POV shot film. Yes, I love a POV shot film.
Oh, don't get us wrong, I love them, but it makes us feel very sick. I went to go see I don't know if it's called The Impossible, but it's a film about the tsunami that happened.
Yes.
I went to go see that in the cinema, and oh my god, it was really, really good. I really enjoyed it, but I felt so sick because like there was just a point
the water wouldn't help.
The water, the swaying of the camera, and there was one point where you were looking down on this woman being like picked up and dragged along, but it like the camera was walking, and I was like, oh my god,
Cloverfield. Have you seen Cloverfield?
I have not.
Oh, it's one of my favourite films of all time, but it's shot like it's being shot through someone's video camera while they're watching everything happening. Oh, incredible. Like, you don't see the creature often at all. It's just one of those, it's just such an atmospheric film. The entire series, love them.
It's like Blair Witch, isn't it? Blair
Witch. I mean, a lot of these children won't even know what the original Blair Witch was like.
Oh god, terrifying.
At the time.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore.
Yeah. Because they'll probably watch it now and be like, what's this baby stuff?
Yeah, films changed a lot, didn't they?
Oh, I do enjoy the classics though.
Yes, yeah.
I remember watching, so my first horror film that I watched was Ghost Ship at the tender age of 8. And
Ghost Ship,
yeah,
wow.
It wasn't an old one, it was relatively new to cinema at that time. And watched it, and it made me, so I'm still to this day scared of boats. Not the massive ones.
I mean, can we talk about Goosebumps? Like, let's be fair.
I mean, yeah, to be fair, if there's anything to be scared of,
it's that sponge.
It's that sponge. At least my fear is kind of rational. I'm scared of boats, guys. Yeah, not the massive ones, but the smaller ones.
Yeah.
Seasickness and whatnot. But yeah,
understandable.
That was the film. Very, very short.
It was very short, but it was short and sweet.
Yeah. If it had any more to it, I think it would have gotten boring.
Yeah, 100%. I think they did a very good job of keeping it the way it was and conveying exactly what they wanted to convey through it. The emotions were high, like you felt the emotions all the way through. I felt anxiety whilst they were fighting. I felt the sadness from the teacher at the end.
Mm-hmm. The music helped a lot, I think, with that as well.
Absolutely. I think they did a very good job on all sides of it, especially with it being a zero budget film.
Definitely, 100%.
So if any of the actors or director / screenwriters are listening, we actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
We'll send this podcast to you.
Absolutely. So, the fan fiction. Now, this one was my fault, so I'm sorry, folks.
I know, I always trust Baron to play the game with the fan fictions. He always finds really, really good ones.
I certainly did. It is good. It is good. It's incredibly heavy.
Yeah.
I didn't want to go down the route because there were so many fan fictions that were like Battle of Hogwarts. Oh, it's Remadora. It's Remus and Nymphadora.
Yeah.
Or we've got the Weasleys, which we're doing next week anyway.
Yes.
So I wanted to do something a bit different, and obviously we are the Drag Malfoys.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to find something that linked to that in a way.
Yep. Do we need any content warnings?
Yes, I would say so. It was still rated teen, I think, but it's heavy. It's right, content warnings for.
Oh,
I don't know how to word it.
It's not. It's so it. Trafficking is a big word.
Yeah, kidnapping. Yeah,
I would say kidnapping, but the parents of the girls sell. So this sounds terrible, but I think the more we get into the fan fiction, the better explained that it is. But it's something on the lines of that. There's no sexual content.
No, there's no sexual content. There's no real abuse either.
Yeah, they always said that the people were treated correctly.
Yes. So should we just do this, because this is hard.
It's a heavy one. There's not going to be much humour filled in here.
I mean, I'm going to try my best,
Yes,
because we need the humour in this.
We do. Do you want my notes?
Yeah, let's do that.
So we've swapped now, because I've done the film for once, and then Baron's going to do the fiction.
This was found on fanfiction.net. It's called Wish Carefully by an author called Ten Toes. The summary is, what might happen if the Death Eaters got what they wished for? So obviously we are the Drag Malfoy, so it was interesting.
There is no mention of Narcissa in this, and I'm just like, what happened? What happened to her?
So, yeah, this is a fanfiction from the point of view of Lucius.
Told in, I don't know, would you say first person? It's told like he's telling a story.
Yeah, it's like he's telling the story of what happened.
Yeah.
So...
Very well written, by the way.
Oh, incredibly written, yeah. So he's an old man at this point, and he's regretted the choices that they all made. Not just he, but everyone.
Everyone, yeah.
It does read as incredibly arrogant. I've just read your note here. Arrogant, yeah. It does read as completely arrogant, but it's Lucius Malfoy, so what do you expect?
Exactly, yeah.
So basically we start with Harry, during the battle, decided to invoke the rites of parley at Stonehenge.
Which, for some reason, automatically made me think of Doctor Who. Because there was that thing at Stonehenge that, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, he invoked the rites of parley at Stonehenge, and they agreed to take all Muggle-borns and pretty much most of the light faction out of the wizarding world.
In Britain.
In Britain. So, yeah, wizarding Britain, sorry. So
they didn't just go to pig farts, that's on Mars.
So Voldemort thinks he's won. He's like, yeah, that's all I ever wanted. I wanted a pure blood society.
Yep.
So that happens.
I think all of them went, apart from like the healers.
Yeah.
And the people who thought it was their duty to stay or couldn't, that, yeah.
Yeah. So essentially what Harry did was took everyone, and they all went through Hogwarts, I think.
They did,
Yeah,
yep.
so they all disappeared from Wizarding Britain through Hogwarts.
Yeah.
And they were trying to keep track of it. The Death Eaters were trying to keep track of it, but they were struggling to keep track of it. During, like, the next generation or so, the purebloods are starting to have squibs.
Yep.
Which are also being sent they're either being sent out of Wizarding Britain or they're being kept a secret.
Yeah.
Because only purebloods are supposed to be living in Wizarding Britain.
Yeah, but it's pureblood families that don't want to get rid of the children.
Yes, absolutely. And in this time, they're starting to realise that actually things aren't going the way that they wanted it to. But they're still so arrogant and still so egotistical that they think it's going to be fine. It'll be totally fine. Give it another generation, it'll be fine.
Yeah, there was a lovely moment in it which said that magical blood was given to a muggle born. Jesus. Mudblood. That's the Malfoy speaking, that is. A muggle born every now and again to help strengthen magical blood and keep the magical blood going.
Yes, yeah.
But the purebloods don't see it that way.
When they realised, because they were keeping track of it in a book, so they were keeping track of new births, new magical births.
Yes.
And people who were being removed from Wizarding Britain.
Uh-huh.
When they realised that they were really starting to dwindle, they started to panic.
Mm-hmm.
And they discovered that they could move internationally.
Yeah.
And began to, I want to say kidnap, because some of them were kidnapped, some of them were sold. So they started to kidnap / buy young girls.
Yeah, as concubines.
Yeah, as concubines, yeah. Young, magical blooded females.
Yeah.
Preferably pure blood, but they did go with mudblood a few times.
They did, yeah.
As long as they were
mudblood now.
Muggle borns a few times. If they were powerful enough.
Yeah, yes,
or if they deemed them powerful enough.
Yeah, so... But I don't think they told Voldemort that.
No, Voldemort didn't know any of this.
He was just lounging away, eating grapes from the stalk. like the Roman
Lucius
Empire.
was just like hanging grapes over his mouth, like fanning him.
He's like draped over a chaise longue.
People start to wonder in the outer wizarding worlds where these people have gone. And fingers are pointed, but no one can really prove anything.
Yeah.
These young girls are treated very fairly.
They are, yeah.
Except for the fact that they're being made to breed.
Yeah.
So they're treated very fairly. They're given whole houses when they get too old to breed anymore.
They are.
They're weighted on hand and foot.
Mm-hmm. They also... so even though they're breeding, they do get given 2 years between each child.
I mean, how very fair of them.
How so fair.
I've got a lovely comment here about international. A gifted Muggle-born finds they are highly sought after as a spouse by these pureblood families in Britain. But they don't want to be like the UK. What's new?
What's new?
Who wants to be like the UK
at the minute? Who wants to
minute?
be like us?
No one. Absolutely no one. Lucius talks about his family's blood purity and how at this point, with the fact that there are now, seven children of Malfoy blood.
There's a lot.
And
I like, are the most of them squibs?
A lot of them have come out squibs, some of them, but because I think one of the females that they were using to breed in the Malfoys was a Muggle-born.
Yeah.
I refuse to say mudblood a third time there. A Muggle-born. he was like, yeah, Abraxas will be rolling in his grave because, like,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
But didn't they say, I think later on in the fiction, that squibs also held magical blood? So they
Absolutely,
started using
yeah.
squibs.
Yeah, they did. So Lucius starts to ask whether or not it was the worst decision that they ever made.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
And whether or not Harry knew what he was doing.
See, this is where I had the issue. I don't think Harry was clever enough to do it. Hermione, probably.
Absolutely, yeah.
Harry, not a chance.
No, Harry didn't have a clue that what he was asking for was going to kill off the blood purity.
Oh yeah, I feel like Hermione had a say in it. Hermione would know.
100%. Hermione. It was Hermione. She was the mastermind of the whole thing, clearly.
Always. I mean, Hermione fixed practically everything that went wrong in the Harry Potter
absolutely.
series.
That was probably 4 absolutely's. I apologise.
Good luck, everyone who's drinking.
So yeah, Muggle Bones. I'm well ahead.
You are very well ahead. Very well ahead.
Potter has an island in the Pacific, and opened up businesses around the surrounding areas.
That made me laugh.
So joke shops with the Weasleys.
Literally, it was like all joke shops and like candy stores, and I'm like, where does the where does the necessity come in? If you're living on a desert island, but sure, okay.
So that, like, at this point, Voldemort's wandering around Wizarding Britain, just crucioing people just for the hell of it, because he's like, yeah, I can do that now.
Anyone who wears glasses, he's like...
Yeah, you're wearing glasses, fuck you. He also made dark marks compulsory.
Oh, did he? I didn't...
Yes.
I must have skimmed over that
Yeah,
bit.
he made dark marks compulsory.
Lovely.
And Voldemort started getting angry because he suddenly realised that there were fewer people, shops weren't open, the economy was failing because they didn't think about the fact...
Sounds very familiar.
I know, right? They didn't think about the fact that a lot of the lower class families were light supporters.
Yeah.
And those lower class families were those families that were keeping the economy going. So I think there's a moment in the Ministry where something fails. There's the lifts fail, and there's no one to fix it because the lower class magical blood have already left.
And it's broken for 3 days.
Broken for 3 whole days.
3 whole
How
days.
very dare they?
But they do realise that there's no one else to run the Ministry, that there's no accountants, or anything like that. So like everything's just up in arms, and then the purebloods don't want to touch their funds.
Yes.
To give out to the economy, but I think that ends up happening anyway.
Yeah, they do end up opening their vaults to help out the economy because most of Diagon Alley is gone.
Yep, hardly any shops left, hardly anyone there.
Yeah, no one's out to buy because the only people with money are the high-born purebloods. The low-born purebloods don't have any money to talk of.
Yeah.
They didn't really have any skills to go off. They were living in crime because that's all they had.
Yeah, we also mentioned the fact that the half-bloods and anyone else with manners and stuff who left, some of them sold it. A lot of them kept them in their name, but put up wards, magical wards, so that only they could do. So it was essentially
blood wards. Yeah.
Yeah. They thought it could. So I mean, Lucius expected it to be so that they thought they would come back eventually. Because I mean, at this rate, it looks like it's going to happen. That the purebloods are just going to die out.
Yeah.
Or the ideals are going to die out.
Yeah. Right. So the Malfoys had been deliberately going against Voldemort. I mean. Surprise.
Are we surprised? No.
And have started a breeding program. They've born 7 children within the Malfoy family. They concubines from different countries.
Yep.
So they can smuggle them in.
Where is Narcissa? Why is Lucius? Oh, okay. Well, I mean that's a whole different fan theory.
It is, yes. So it's safe to say Voldemort is completely. Like, he's gone completely mad at this point.
Oh, yeah.
He's torturing anyone who walks in his way. But they've been trying to come up with a plan to get Harry to come back and fulfill the prophecy.
Yeah.
Because they've realised that actually the only person that can kill Voldemort is Harry. So...
Did they not try and plan that Voldemort would do something wrong and then he'd get his magic taken off him?
Yes, yeah. they thought about doing that.
Yeah.
But we finished the fic with Lucius being very old, close to death, living in Cornwall.
Although Cornwall's very nice. I do enjoy Cornwall.
It is lovely. So he's talking about the fact that they've got a plan. And then other purebloods show up at the end of the fic, and that's all we know.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it wasn't updated since like 2011, so it's never going to happen.
Yeah. It's a one shot. I think it was a one shot anyway.
Yeah.
It was one chapter, 7k-ish words.
Yeah, 7k words, yeah.
Um,
And Ivy's finished her notes by saying, I can imagine Lucius in a rocking chair telling the story while dramatically looking over Cornish landscape, clinging on to the hope that he won't have to live in hell for much longer. And what I love about this imagery is that Ivy is currently sitting in my rocking chair.
I am. This is the rocking chair that Lucius would use, and he's just like, with a little glass of fire whisk in his hand, like, I regret my entire life.
Yes. What I don't know if I completely missed it in the notes. What I didn't see in the notes was some of the later generations of Malfoys had started going against this breeding program. They weren't interested in it. I can't remember what they called this young child, but there was a young child who was like, no, these ideals are wrong.
Was it like Scorpius's child, maybe?
Yeah, Scorpius's child to one of the concubines. Yeah. So his children and their generation were all starting to turn against the pure blood ideals.
Yeah,
as well.
They didn't want to do that. I mean, would you blame them? Because they've lived. I mean, this is like our generation being like going so against the previous generation, isn't it? Like, we do not want to live in the world that you guys have created.
Oh, what a surprise! Isn't that happening?
We also did mention, so there's been a downfall of Hogwarts as well.
Oh yes, yeah.
Everything's gone from the school. The portraits.
They've taken the portraits, the lot, yeah.
Books.
Because it was all owned by
the founders.
The founders who have heirs within the school.
So this was a reach.
Yeah.
They wrote that Harry was a descendant of Slytherin.
Yeah.
Hermione, a descendant of Ravenclaw.
Mm-hmm.
Neville, descendant of Hufflepuffs. But I'm not too sure about Gryffindor.
They didn't mention it.
So they were like, oh, technically they're descendants of the founders, so they can take whatever. And apparently Hogwarts has a heart. And they took everything that was magical out of Hogwarts. So
yeah, I mean, we know that Hogwarts has some sort of sentience.
Oh, fully, yeah.
But yeah, it was. So yeah, folks, it was heavy.
Very heavy.
It was very heavy.
I remember reading it, and then like that night that I read it, I was like, I'm having a stress dream.
She did as well.
It was the night before that we did the Keeping Up with the Malfoys, and I had a full-on stress dream about it, and I was like, I'm not stressed about the live, I was like, just stressed about the fiction.
It's a heavy fic. I did then go and find another one afterwards. I don't even know if you read it.
I didn't.
No, I don't think you had, because you haven't mentioned it. But it was very sweet and very heartbreaking. It was another Lucissa moment.
Love that.
Where Lucius was preparing for his trial after the Battle of Hogwarts.
Oh.
And
I'm going to find it and I'm going to read it, because I do love
really
me
cute.
some Lucissa. I might have to get you to send us the link again.
Yeah,
but
it was very cute. It's still in my phone, it's fine.
Yeah.
It was very cute. It was basically Narcissa trying to calm Lucius down, essentially.
Oh, my little heart.
Because he's like, I'm going to Azkaban, and she's like, you're not. It's fine. Don't panic. Everything's fine.
We should do that as a series.
We should.
We've been talking about making a fan fiction into a series.
Yeah.
With the Lucissa one. We should do that one.
It's only short.
Oh, maybe not then.
No, and it's
Well,
literally
we'll
it's just them
Doesn't matter
in the
then.
drawing room, and that's pretty much it.
Doesn't matter then. We'll find a really long one and make something cute
Yeah.
for you guys. There's so many series in the works with Lucissa.
Oh, there are.
We'll have to do the one that we're recording soon, but we'll do the when.
Yes. So yeah, I've been reading a fan fiction for forever. I say forever, for a long while. But it's on a level of the one that we read with Christy. It's 500k plus words, and I've been reading it for a good 6, 7, 8, 9 months. I'm
so
not
it
sure.
might have been physically impossible for you to read it in the space of 5 days.
Absolutely. And it was entirely based around the Battle of Hogwarts and the aftermath. It was a snarry fic, however it was aged up snarry, so I feel like that's generally okay.
As long as they're over the age of 18.
Yeah, and they were. It's a fantastic fic. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
We'll link it below.
Yeah, it's in like several parts. Beautiful, incredibly written. I've loved every second of it, but I couldn't expect Ivy to read it all in because we struggled with as much as we loved A Piece Not Promised.
That one.
It was a struggle to do it. I'm still reading it now and still trying to catch up with it.
Yeah,
so.
I'm still only 60 chapters in, but it was very good.
Yes,
don't get us wrong.
and I haven't stopped reading it.
Yeah,
because I enjoy it.
I love reading, and don't get, but I am quite a slow reader because I do take in everything.
Yeah,
everything. I'm very detailed. I'm like, remember when this happened? And I'm just like, what? No.
I mean, I would love to do it as a series. Like either of those big long fics, I would love to do as a series.
That would be cool.
But it would be finding someone else that had read both of those. That isn't
At
Christy, because I don't know anyone else.
It's like at the moment I've only read some of it. I mean, I could do Lily. I've got the wig. Straighten out the wig.
It's very good for you though, isn't it? It's very like hero.
Oh yeah.
For you, you don't do that.
I think there's very few cosplayers that I do where they actually are good people.
Yeah,
the
I
Quidditch
don't
pitch.
think I own one.
Yeah, the Quidditch pitch, the time turner's slightly evil because like you don't meddle with time, you know. Quidditch pitch, and then I've got one in the works where I'm doing a collaboration with Pansy Parkinson of Pansy Parkinson and her Huffle buddy. So I'm going to be a really cute Hufflepuff. We'll see how.
I mean, good luck.
You know what? I'm just going to make that a lot like the Quidditch pitch. I think that's what it's going to be like.
That'll work. Yeah,
because the Hufflepuff who I've chosen is a descendant of the person who's captain of the Hollywood Harpies. She was taught by Slughorn. So she's a flyer. So again, just like the Quidditch pitch, really easy. But I've got Pickett as well. Pickett's going to be adorable.
I just don't do anything that is cutesy. It's not me.
Yeah,
I do evil
enjoy
characters, dark characters.
I enjoy the evil more than I do the good because you can just do so much more with it.
I feel like even my shrieking shack isn't particularly pleasant.
I love
she's not nice.
She's not nice, but she's hilarious.
Oh, I love doing her. She's a release.
Yes.
A lot of screaming. But yeah, we've got some amazing series lined up. So we're going to break some hearts, but we're going to do some really soft content.
So the soft version's coming first.
Yeah, so we're going to do a wedding series.
We are. We've got it all planned out actually. We've got the sounds, we've got the parts. I'm ready to go.
I'm not.
You're not, yeah.
Costuming wise, I'm not.
Yeah, costume wise, we just need to wait and then we should be good.
Yeah, so we're going to do a whole from engagement to the wedding.
Yeah, I think it starts off with them, like a little montage of them dating and then...
Yes, and then graduating.
Yeah,
and then engagement, yeah. So obviously a lot of people fall in the fan theory that it was an arranged marriage.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think that that's not true, but I don't think that they didn't love each other.
Oh yeah.
Regardless of whether or not it was arranged.
I think they did date in school, and I think the fact that Lucius was a pureblood really helped Narcissa at that point. Because
absolutely.
they were like, oh wait, she's with a pureblood already, and
Andromeda's just left the family. Yeah. We need something to help that family. Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think Lucius and Narcissa were a very, very, very strong bond.
Yes.
They loved each other. I mean, look at our videos.
Yeah. I know a lot of it for a lot of people are like, oh, but you don't see that from the Malfoys. No, you don't, but there's not enough written about the Malfoys to know whether or not they were like that.
Exactly.
So we've taken our own creative edge with it.
That's
definitely.
the fun part, when there's not much written about the character.
Yes.
Someone commented that on one of my videos actually the other day, and it was something like, oh, you don't usually see this side of the Malfoys, but I really enjoy the way that you've gone with the character. And I'm like,
I had something very similar. It was probably the same person.
Maybe the same person. I was like, well, there's not enough written, so we can't get 12-year-olds shouting at us that we've done something wrong.
Yeah. Exactly that.
I say 12-year-olds, probably like 10.
9.
9, 8.
So after that, we've got a bit of an angsty series coming up for you.
Oh, this is gonna break your heart.
So we found, I'm gonna say we. My partner found a headcanon.
Yeah.
And sent it to us.
Made a group chat specifically for this. It was brilliant.
Yeah. So my partner sent this headcanon to us that was basically, for a long time, we're unable to conceive.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a series based around that.
The whole 6 years that they tried.
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to break some hearts.
Yeah, definitely. I've got another series coming up, another Lucius one coming up after that, which is based after the Battle of Hogwarts, in fact.
Oh, yeah.
Based around...
I forgot about that one, but
Jason Isaac's personal headcanon, which is that Lucius struggled to cope after the Battle of Hogwarts, knowing that although he didn't go to Azkaban, he was out of favour of everyone.
Yeah.
He still had his money, so he sat in the manor and got drunk and then drank himself to death after Cesar and Draco left. So I've got that coming up, so I hope you're excited for that one.
I've got videos planned around that theme. Mm-hmm. So it's not a series that we're doing together, but it's a series that kind of coincides.
Yes, and for all of you Snape fans, I've got something exciting planned for this week that I'm filming. I'm doing a whole series that is Severus Snape, young Severus Snape, is encouraged to perform his original song at an open mic night at Hogsmeade.
It's going to be wild, and I can't wait.
Oh, it's going to be really silly. It's silly angst.
Well, I was going through my sounds yesterday, or like I found a sound yesterday, and yesterday it came to me, and I was like, oh my god, what if I did like something with Bellatrix in Azkaban? Because I've done the point of which it goes into Azkaban, or the point of a trial, but never something...
And we did Lucius going to Azkaban right at the beginning of our TikTok career.
We did, yes. So I'm thinking about bringing back the Azkaban thing and doing a whole series of Bella in Azkaban, which goes from regret to like acceptance, and then she goes, this is like the way you'll see I go mad, essentially, because that the isolation for 12 years. 14 it was Sirius and 12.
I did my time.
12 years of it in Azkaban.
This is the second time we've done this in this podcast.
So yeah, I'm thinking about doing an Azkaban Bella series, but it's gonna be really dark and like,
fabulous.
Like, so the, the 2 audios that I showed you today.
Yes, yeah.
It's gonna have them in it. Yeah.
Well, I hope you're also enjoying. In fact, by the time this airs, my series will have finished. My Death Eater series. Yeah.
It's a very short one.
It is a short one. It's only 11 parts, which is short for me.
We usually do like 18.
Yeah.
Although the wedding series is only 10.
It is, yeah.
A little baby.
A little baby series, because it's too sickening and emotional for me.
It's very cute.
It is cute, yeah.
We're going to have to do everything kind of twice over to match each
God,
other's.
yeah. That's 20 videos of fluff.
20 videos.
I don't know if I can cope with that.
Well, a couple of them are angst. Two of them are
angst, yeah.
Each. So, like, we've got one of the parts is Narcissa planning for the wedding, but Lucius is slowly getting himself more involved in the Death Eaters, as Lucius said. And then the end of the wedding series kind of rolls into...
The next series
of struggling to conceive.
Yeah. So I hope you're all ready for some serious Lucissa shit, folks.
Serious Lucissa shit.
Sorry. That took me far too long.
That took you away. I was literally like, please don't not get this. And then after that, we still haven't found a fan fiction yet, but we are planning to do a Lucissa fan fiction and make that into a series.
Yes. Oh, actually, speaking of fan fictions, I was sent a fan fiction yesterday. So, folks, if you want to send me fan fictions that you've written yourself, please feel free. I have absolutely no problem with any ship as long as it's legal.
Yes.
So I was sent a ship yesterday. I was sent a fan fiction yesterday called Cancer Love. I can't remember the author because I've literally just remembered about it now. It was really beautiful. It was really lovely. It's on Wattpad. It's called Cancer Love and it's a Drarry fic. It was really cute, really nice. So folks, if you ever want...
Just considering we're not huge fans of Drarry.
Yeah, no, I'm not a huge fan of Drarry at all, no. But, like I said, I will quite happily read anything as long as it's legal, and as long as it's written well enough. Because I struggle, because I'm a well-educated...
Yeah.
Yeah.
A well-educated individual.
Yes, absolutely. And I struggle to read something that isn't written...
So
of a high standard.
Every Tuesday night when Baron reads My Immortal,
the
pain on his face just gets more and more intense.
Yeah, you know, I do a fan fiction live story time. It's
for 18
plus
yeah.
only on my Instagram on a Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. GMT. And for the last 3 months, we've been reading a couple of chapters every Tuesday of My Immortal, amongst other hideous crack fixes, mostly crack fic, folks. But My Immortal it kills me.
It's a lot. I don't understand what's going on.
No,
to this day.
No, not a clue.
All I know is that we are
we're gonna cosplay Ebony. Like, it's gonna be
Ebony
ridiculous.
and Raven.
Yeah, it's gonna be awful.
It's probably only gonna be like 1 or 2 videos.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be wild. Hopefully, I don't know who will recognise My Immortal cosplayers, but hopefully some people.
Well, I think there's someone on TikTok who actually was reading a chapter a day of My Immortal on TikTok, which is hilarious.
Because the chapters are short enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, terribly written. I can't stress it enough. I cannot. It makes me so angry.
Dumbledore.
A couple of weeks ago, I literally stopped and just stared at the camera for 2 minutes because I was like, I don't know why you're making me read this anymore.
Can confirm it was exactly like that.
Yeah, it upsets me greatly. And then reading it hungover a couple of weeks ago was just not the one.
Was brilliant.
After the episode with Christy, actually. After the episode we recorded with Christy, the day after, hungover, terribly hungover.
See, was that really bad that day? I don't think I was. I don't think I was that bad.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know if I was. So there was one time when I was really bad. And
that was after the 1 million live.
That was the 1 million live, and you were like, "Oh, you're awake," and I was like, "I wish I wasn't." So, kids, be aware when you turn 18.
Alcohol is not fun.
You know what? Your hangovers are fine until you reach your 20s.
Absolutely. Fan theories.
Fan theories.
We've taken a little break.
We have.
We've been outside.
A little bit more intoxicated.
We've had some more wine, yes. Because this episode needs it. Because this is a heavy episode. So we've got some fan theories that aren't as heavy and some that are quite heartbreaking.
One of mine is absolutely ridiculous. It's like a reach. It is a reach.
So we'll start with mine then.
Yeah.
So this is probably quite a famous one. This is quite a heartbreaking one. So when Harry sees his parents and Sirius and Remus, Philosopher's Stone, all of that, his parents look as they did when they died.
Yeah.
Suggesting that the Resurrection Stone shows people to look exactly as they did just before they died.
Yeah.
Except, and I quote from the book, Sirius was tall and handsome, and younger by far than Harry had ever seen him in life. Lupin was younger too, and much less shabby, and his hair was thicker and darker. So this, to me, suggests that Sirius and Remus, despite living physically longer than Lily and James, also died metaphorically the same night as Lily and James. Or maybe when Sirius was sent to Azkaban.
Oh.
Yeah,
That
so it
hurts.
suggests that they weren't actually living anymore.
Oh.
So that was quite a heartbreaking
That is
one.
heartbreaking. Like, in a beautiful way, though. Like,
Yeah, and I mean, we don't know how young it was suggesting either of them, but just definitely younger.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought maybe Harry was seeing Remus before he was infected with lycanthropy.
Oh,
maybe.
possibly. But what age was Remus infected?
I don't know.
'Cause
But then I wrote something really stupid. That was Remus lycanthropy, not lycanthropy.
Oh my god. You are
Hashtag wine.
terrible, but in the best way. I have so this is not really a fan theory, but more of an observation.
Mm-hmm.
So in 1920, when the school, Hogwarts, was closed due to the threat of Grindelwald, but with the threat of Voldemort, it was still open.
Hashtag Britain.
Britain! I mean, to be fair, the school stayed open through the opening of the Chamber of Secrets, so
Yeah.
the threat of a dark wizard was probably not as big of a threat.
Yeah. I mean, it took a worldwide pandemic for the schools here to shut, so it doesn't
True.
surprise me that a Dark Lord didn't shut it.
Yeah, and it took them longer than usual for them to
Well, yes.
shut them.
Yes, of course.
Because Britain, yay!
Hashtag English. So, after the Second Wizarding War, the Marauders map stopped working because all of the original Marauders died.
Oh no! No wait. Oh wait, yeah.
All of the Marauders died.
That's really. Oh.
I mean, I did read something also that the Marauders map worked really well for Fred and George because they were always up to mischief.
Yeah.
So I liked that, and then one of them survived. So like.
It might
Maybe,
still work. If it's
but
in the hands
I
of
really
George.
appreciated that the Marauders map wouldn't work without all 4 Marauders.
That's really sad, but like again, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Like they would have to be alive.
Yeah.
It might work if it worked for so well for Fred and George. But what if it might not work for George because George just
Because George needs Fred,
Fred.
to be...
Yeah. That's for next week.
Yeah, that is for next week.
I have Is Hogwarts Alive?
Okay.
So this kind of ties in with the fanfic that the Hogwarts has a heart connected to each of the founders. Because also the Room of Requirement shows people what they want to see.
Yeah.
Like, can Hogwarts feel everything that the students are feeling?
I always assumed that it could. I always assumed that the magic of Hogwarts was definitely sentient, omniscient maybe.
Yeah.
I think that, and I mean maybe this is coming from fan fictions, I always felt like Hogwarts was very aware of its inhabitants.
Yeah.
And I think everything within Hogwarts draws its magic from Hogwarts.
Yeah, because the Sorting Hat is one...
Yeah, just about to say the Sorting Hat, yeah.
The years and years and years, and usually enchanted objects, the magic wears off.
And there's that whole moment with Mcgonagall where she animates the statues.
Yeah.
My favourite part.
Oh, the best part. I've
Yeah.
always wanted to use that spell.
I live.
My favourite
McGonagall is an
moment.
icon.
She is a... Oh, well, I fully believe that McGonagall is like a dom-top lesbian.
PG, but yes, agreed.
If everyone's here from our TikTok, then it's fine.
Yeah.
What about you? What have you got?
Next. So we're in a Discord group. So we put it to our Discord group. What fan theories do you think relate to the Battle of Hogwarts or immediately after? And I had 2 that were very much linked. That the students probably left the Wizarding World after the Battle of Hogwarts, because really, why would you? And I think we mentioned this last episode. At least we did before it's been cut. I don't know if it's stayed in.
We'll see.
I don't believe that these students, as young as they are, could go through this level of trauma and continue to A, be friends and keep in touch, and B, live in the same area.
Yeah.
A normal person with this amount of trauma would not be able to do this.
Yeah, especially if maybe the students ended up killing someone.
Absolutely.
You would just look at your wand and be like, I did this.
Yeah.
Even if it was someone on the wrong side of history, you still killed a human.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I agree 100%.
Yeah.
And the other theory that linked with that was also in the Discord was that Harry disappeared for a while afterwards.
I can imagine that.
And I've actually read a fan fiction. It was another Snarry. I mean, there may be
it's a little link here.
link here. So yeah, it was very cute. Harry disappeared after the ball. Lived in a tent for a couple of weeks by himself. But then the Ministry sent him something. It was Severus Snape sent him a box. It wasn't really Snarry, really. Severus Snape sent him a box of items by care of the Ministry of Magic.
Oh.
And it was a box of his mother's belongings.
Oh.
And it brought him back into the wizarding world because he was like, this is really sweet. And he'd ignored it for a couple of weeks. It arrived, sat in the rain outside his tent for days because he was like, I know this writing. I don't want this writing.
Yeah.
I don't want this in my life. And then he opened it and it was photographs, it was diaries, it was letters. And it was Lily's wand that had been broken. And it was very cute. It was beautifully written.
That sounds gorgeous.
Yeah, it was like a little short one shot, like 1K plus words. It was very cute. But that also links into, I read another fan fiction.
All about the fan fictions here.
Living. Where Hermione was rewriting the history of Hogwarts. After the Battle of Hogwarts. And she put her feelers out and she said, look guys, I'm looking for some photographs of previous students that may have died, students who are still with us, people who were involved heavily. And Dennis Creevy contacted her and said, I may be able to help. I have several photograph albums that my brother took.
That's, oh my god,
Isn't it beautiful?
Yeah, that's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
My theory kind of ties in with that so I haven't written this down, I just remember this is the theory that I had. After the Battle of Hogwarts, Thestrals were almost visible to everyone.
Oh, fuck. Ouch.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you just imagine that though, like people suddenly start seeing these...
I never even thought of that.
People suddenly start seeing these horses or these skeletal horses dragging the carriages and stuff, yeah.
Wow.
It would happen.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'd not even thought of that. Beautiful.
Beautiful. But apart from that, my next one that I've written down is that Lavender Brown isn't actually dead.
Okay, like Snape isn't dead.
Yeah. So
okay.
We see her being attacked by Fenrir Greyback.
Right.
But there's no confirmation that she did die. So
That's
it is
true.
possible that she inherited to become a werewolf.
I mean, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that. But that leads on to the Severus Snape still being alive after the battle.
Severus still being alive, yeah.
Because really, what kind of potions master wouldn't have a cure for a snake bite?
Yeah. Being a potions master, you would carry the general thing with you.
And also, if he's a vampire, then he's not going to die anyway.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, yeah. We did speak about this in the episode that's...
Yes, and then of course Christy posted a wonderful video on our Instagram, an older video on our Instagram of Vampire Severus, and we live, I always live.
Oh, fully, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. What's your next one?
I don't have a next one, that's it,
okay.
That's all I've got.
So I have two more.
Lovely.
One is a genuine, like, oh yeah moment, and then one is just total ridiculous. So the Dursleys are so mean all the time because Harry's a Horcrux.
I read this, yeah.
Yeah.
So they know fuck all, man.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the problem, right? So they knew that he was a wizard. They didn't want him part of that.
Yeah.
Hardly any of the wizarding world knew what a Horcrux was. How the fuck would the Dursleys know?
No, they didn't know, but because Harry was a Horcrux at that time, that's why they were so horrible to him.
I'm
like the locket. So they didn't know he was a Horcrux.
Okay, I'm swearing a lot. I'm sorry.
But that's why they were so mean to him and in bad mood all the time when he was around. Was because, like the locket, exuded Voldemort's.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just assumed that was because they were like the Muggle equivalent of the Malfoys.
I mean that too, but I think probably accentuated when he was ever around because he just always ordering him to do things.
I like that.
Maybe that's the reason why Snape was a bit more irritant with him.
Oh, maybe.
But I guess like no one else really was though, so
no.
Well,
interesting.
yeah. But again, Harry spent prolonged time with them, like 11 years, so it's gonna have an effect on them.
Yeah.
And this comes to my very, very stupid one, which is absolutely ridiculous. But I read it and I couldn't not put it in. So, Minerva McGonagall is a Death Eater.
Is she now?
So there are 4 points to this. By the way, this is total absolute bull. So number 1, in the Philosopher's Stone, during a conversation about Muggles, she states, "They're not all stupid."
Right.
Yeah, this is a reach. This is a reach, guys.
Yeah.
Her love for Quidditch, which often causes division between houses.
Is that not just...
I know, it's just a wisdom thing though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Evidence of transfiguration, a craft entirely based on hiding one's true self. Which again,
okay.
Yeah. And allowed Harry to take detention in the Forbidden Forest when she knew that Voldemort was there. So this is a very big reach. I have written total bull at the end of it.
Oh, love.
But I was just like, what kind of person came up with that?
That's like the day I read that Hagrid was a Death Eater and that his clumsiness and his stupidity was all just an act.
Purpose.
No, love.
No,
absolutely not.
McGonagall is...
She's a bean that needs to be protected.
Bean. We love her. I think the other reason again that they gave was that Dumbledore never allowed her in on the plans because he secretly knew. And I was like...
Dumbledore was a dick.
Dumbledore was a dickhead.
We don't stand Dumbledore in this house.
Dumbledore was a manipulative bastard.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
But yeah, that's not a really great one, but it was a reach and I had to put it in.
Yeah. So yeah, that was our episode today. It was a little bit shorter, I think.
Sorry about that. There wasn't that much on the battle.
No.
Oh wait, there was one more theory which I forgot to mention. After the battle, Narcissa got in contact with Andromeda.
Oh yes.
My baby sister got in contact with her older sister, and they started their relationship again. And Narcissa would sometimes look after Teddy, and it was all very sweet.
I approve of this, but I think she'd have had to have kept it secret from Lucius. But if Lucius was in the manor drinking anyway, then he probably wouldn't have noticed.
Oh, fully. I think it was secret to start with, and then after the war, kind of got in contact again, which is really, really cute.
That is very cute.
And that's all I have.
That's all we both have.
That's all we both have.
Except, so those of you who are 18 plus. We are also going to post at the same time our Drag Malfoy bit on the side.
Live from the dungeon.
Live from the dungeon. So this is not going to be a regular thing, just once in a while, just to add some extra content in there. It is going to be an 18 plus addition to the podcast, in which we discuss more adult themes and play some more adult Harry Potter games.
Exciting.
So if you are 18 plus, please join us. You will have to have an 18 plus YouTube account in order to click the link at all.
Yep. And so don't go changing your birthdays.
No, guys, respect our boundaries here. This isn't 18 plus. We will 100%. So next time you can look forward to Life After Fred. Folks, I'm sorry, this is probably going to be another really heavy one.
It's going to be heartbreaking.
We do have another amazing guest lined up for the one after that.
Yeah, so the one after Life After Fred, we are talking again about the Marauders. We have got the one and only A Hobbit's Tale.
That is Holder, yes. We are going to discuss at length over wine the Marauders and Lily Evans.
So exciting, so exciting.
So thanks again, and it's been so wonderful to get all of your support. Again, if you have fan fictions that you've written or fan fictions you would like to recommend, please send the links, please subscribe, please send to your friends.
Like the video.
Like the video, share the video.
Oh, it all helps out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That was two there for you, right there. Finish the podcast with 2 shots.
There you go. You've damn well need it with how heavy it's been.
Thanks, folks.
Thanks, bye.